All right, let's now take a look at the 9-point agenda that the Building Bridges initiative is supposed to focus on. We'll start with the first one, that is ethnic antagonism. Now, this is supposed to focus on deterioration of relationships between ethnic communities, ethnic profiling, and ethnic intolerance. Point number 2 is lack of national ethos, and this is supposed to be focusing on negative politics, corruption, and violence. Then we have point number 3, which is inclusivity. It will be focusing on exclusion from mainstream national development initiatives and also representation in public institutions. Let's now move on to point number 4, which is devolution, and this will focus on exclusivity in counties, isolation, political marginalization. That is point number 4. Agenda point number 5 is to deal with divisive elections, and this will focus on economic disruptions during elections, ethnic polarization, and insecurity. We also have point number 6 that will focus on safety and security, mainly to deal with natural and man-made disasters, violent intercommunal conflicts, and terror attacks. Point number 7 is corruption. This is a thorn that has been facing the country, and the Building Bridges initiative is supposed to be focusing on that as point number 7. Point number 8 is shared prosperity, to look into lack of decent income, poor investments, and unemployment. And finally, number 9, which is responsibility, that is human and civil rights. Those are the 9-point agenda that the BBI report is set to focus on. But as we await to talk to our reporters on that and more, let's now look at the team of the task force, that is the 14-member task force, and it included Adams Olo, Agnes Kavindu, Senator Amos Wako, Florence Omose, Said Mwanguni, and James Matundura. We also have Major John Say, Bishop Lawi Matthew, Maison Leshomo, Senator Muhammad Yusuf Haji, and also we have Morompi Ole Ronkai, Professor Bishop Peter Njenga, Rose Museu, and Anak Bishop Zacchaeus Okot. Those are the 14-member BBI task force, and they also have 2 secretaries, that is Ambassador Martin Kimani and Paul Mwangi. That is the BBI task force that is supposed to be handing over that report to President Uhuru Kenyatta and, of course, ODM leader Raila Odinga. Let's now cross over to our I&M studio, where our reporter Chris Diary is on standby. Chris, I trust you're well. What should Kenyans expect today?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Ashley. Currently, as we are speaking, a host of leaders are currently at State House, Nairobi, together with the 14 team, the Building Bridges Initiative team led by the Garissa Senator Yusuf Haji. And the fanfare of the occasion is to present or hand in the report, the Building Bridges report, the much hyped report for the last 14 months that they've been crisscrossing all the 47 counties. And today we expect that President Uhuru Kenyatta will be receiving that report. And remember, Ashley, we are yet to confirm whether the former Prime Minister and Opposition Chief Raila Odinga is in attendance in today's session. And I've talked to various politicians and several leaders and sources, and the information I'm getting is that the state would like this information to trickle down or to come out to the public from tomorrow. Remember that the president has organized another forum that will bring on board various leaders and political and religious leaders at the bomas of Kenya, and all the 47 counties will be represented. I'm meant to understand that each county will be required to at least have 100 delegates, and the total, of course, will be 4,700 delegates that will be expected to attend tomorrow's fanfare. And the reason as to why they don't want to, or the information I'm getting that the reason as to why they don't want to come out and give the contents of this report today is that as the government, they would like first to go through the report. Remember, the president has already indicated, gone publicly saying that himself, although he is the brain, is the part of the brainchild of these Building Bridges initiative, he's yet to be informed on the contents of the Building Bridges initiative. And so the country is still waiting. Remember that it is an anxious moment for the whole country. Remember that these Building Bridges initiative came after the acrimonious 2017 general election that saw Kenyans subjected to a second presidential vote. And after that, we saw the two leaders, President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition chief Raila Odinga, agreeing to bury the hatchet and work together with a common goal. And they had the 9 agendas. But out of the 9 agendas, Ashley, there's only one agenda that seems to be raising political temperatures in the country, noting that we are only 2.5 years to the 2022 general election, and that is the issue to do with inclusivity. And let's wait and see the recommendations that this report has given. There are those who are saying maybe they would propose that we have we continue with the presidential system. Others are saying, as they had given their views, they would like to see a parliamentary system where we have a prime minister and 2 deputies, or a system that mixes the presidential, that's a hybrid system that has a presidential system and the parliamentary system. But we expect that maybe by evening, some of these contents, or what really is in that report, will have reached our offices, and we'll be ready to inform Kenyans on the contents of this report, even as we wait for the official public function tomorrow at the Bomas of Kenya, Ashley.
Now, Thyro, this is something that you have been following up on for the longest time, and most politicians and Kenyans are quite skeptical about going for a referendum. If we were to take that direction as a country, how exactly will the process be like?
Well, actually, the issue to do with the referendum has been a thorn in the flesh for many politicians. And it is the reason as to why the majority, or maybe half of the country, are not maybe supporting the referendum, going by the views that Kenyans have been raising. First, majority of Kenyans are going by the vox pop that we've collected. They would like to see issues to do with unemployment dealt with, issues to do with the economy, issues to do with the agriculture sector. Remember, we have been having farmers from the tea sector, the coffee sector, coming up in arms saying that the markets are not ready. But there are those who feel that even before we head to the 2022 general election, they need to form a different system of governance. And actually, if at all it will be agreed upon that we move from the presidential system to the parliamentary system, or a hybrid system, then this means that Kenyans will have to be subjected to a referendum, because this is one of the protected chapters in the Constitution, that Kenyans must be asked on what type of governance they would like. But remember that, Ashley, we are only 2.5 years to the general election. The president has a legacy to protect, and with 2.5 years to the general election and a legacy to protect, and the campaigns for the 2022 general elections, then there are those who feel that maybe if at all there is a referendum to be handled, then it should come after the 2022 general election, so that it can start after the elections. Remember, we passed the 2010 referendum, the 2010 constitution, but it started being inactive after the 2013 general election. These are just views from across the political divide. But let's see whether this report has recommended a referendum in it, Ashley, first.
All right, thank you very much, Chris Thyro.